What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the third studio album by Canadian R&B star The Weeknd. It's called Beauty Behind the Madness. The Weeknd, which is the stage name of course of Abel Tesfaye, is a Canadian singer and songwriter widely known for that crooning voice of his that's often paired up with these R&B leaning instrumentals and these overtly sexual lyrics. Ladies love him, people in general just seem to enjoy his music, but I wasn't exactly calling myself a fan. Now Kissland, that last full-length album that dropped a couple of years ago, was my first full-length album exposure to him, other than a few singles that I had heard here and there kind of sprinkled into the mix, but I wasn't exactly in with the vibe that record was going for. I made it through about 4 or 5 songs before I really started getting bored with it, and I don't exactly know why the project was tiresome to it, but I just felt it was lacking a certain spark. Now, what changed with Beauty Behind the Madness? What made me get on board and start connecting with him? Well, I think that he has made his most mainstream friendly and most pop accessible album to date in the form of this new record, Beauty Behind the Madness. As he stepped further into pop territory, I think that he's made the record that I was unknowingly waiting for him to make. I never doubted this man's talent, but now he's got the right songs to match his voice. The smash hit, I Can't Feel My Face, hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and just so happened to be his most radio-friendly song to date. It's a hard track to pass on, and I'm not going to deny loving it, although I do get past the Michael Jackson comparisons that everyone else seems to be drawing. It's like you can't talk about this song without talking about Michael Jackson in the same sentence. I don't think it's overshadowed by that. I think he actually owns this song and makes a really enjoyable summer anthem right here. Earned It made the final track listing as well, being a hit in and of itself after featuring in the soundtrack for 50 Shades of Grey. Did not like this song the first time I heard it, didn't like it the 50th time I heard it, don't like it the 500th time I've heard it, because I've been surrounded by this song since the mid-winter of this year and it just seems like it will not go away. It's got a weird pace to it. It's a little bit too choppy for my liking, and it kind of reminds me of some of his earlier stuff that I really just didn't care for. His foray into top 40 music didn't just come at the drop of the hat though. It's been slowly sneaking up on us, working its way into some of the songs on his last record, Kissland, including that title track. I love how unapologetically pop In the Night and Often are. In the Night is undeniably fun, and I don't even want to admit how hard I jam out to Often sometimes, the latter of those just being so arrogant and egotistical, but Abel manages to pull off this vibe so well sometimes, when other artists I would just kind of avoid it like the plague. Often has those rolling 808s and the pounding bass and synth combos that really hit home the vibe that this song is going for. It's definitely a banger. Not all of these overly confident tunes work quite as well though, as Tell Your Friends squanders a decent instrumental to brag about pill popping and pulling in as many bitches as possible. Acquainted starts off a little bit promising, but then once again dives back into this kind of generic territory. Even though the vocals on it are quite strong, the beat is captivating enough, at least at the start of the tune, but it's just a 6-minute pit that feels inescapable. He seems to feel comfortable slipping into this really repetitive groove that jumps out to me in about 0 ways. There's just not enough progression in this track and this song to justify such a long runtime. As You Are incorporates these dark atmospheric 80s feelings and kind of meshes them together with these smooth layered vocals that at least command your attention a bit more than that track and maybe a few of the other skippables on the album. That is, until we pass the 3-minute mark of this song, whenever we just get this idea that it's okay to slip into a really monotonous groove and beat. There's not really much going on other than some repeated lyrics that just kind of flow, and then the song just kind of shuts off, and I'm thinking, why was that necessary? We could have shortened this up by at least 2 minutes. If you're looking for a track that actually does make good use of its runtime, the closing track, Angel, is here to save the day. Well, sort of. I'm not going to call it magic, but he does have a few tricks up the old sleeve on this one. It's one of the most effective and actually genuine tracks that appears, but I have to question one thing. Why? Why do we need the children's choir on this track? Why would the children's choir be a good idea for a Weeknd song in general? It just doesn't work, and so many artists are doing it these days. Whatever though, it actually still sounds pretty great through and through. We see the Weeknd kind of letting this girl go. She's looking for someone that she can actually trust and confide in, and he wants her to find someone that's actually going to love her treat her the way that she deserves to be treated. Abel brought a few musical guests onto this record, with Ed Sheeran, the superstar, appearing on the track Dark Times, Lana Del Rey's voice haunting the tune Prisoner, and Labyrinth, whose voice you might remember from his hit Beneath You're Beautiful, lending his voice to the track Losers. I was pleasantly surprised to see how the features played out on this thing, as each artist really seems to add something to the cuts that they appear on. I dare say that Sheeran and Del Rey actually steal the spotlight on their respective songs, with Sheeran in particular really just standing taller on the guitar-centric Dark Times. Expecting these artists to just come in and sing on a hook? Nah, that's not how The Weeknd plays it. He actually has them come in and perform verses on this thing, and I think that's why I respect it a bit more. Lana Del Rey actually sounds really good on the track Prisoner, even if the lyrics are a bit mundane. I haven't really enjoyed anything that she's released from her upcoming album Honeymoon yet. Kind of boring and tedious to me, but this track actually reminds me, at least in terms of the vocal performance on it, of some of the stuff that I liked most about her albums Born to Die and Ultraviolence. I thought the opener Real Life was kind of a weak choice to set things in motion. It just doesn't grab or else hold your attention like it wants to. In fact, the album really doesn't hit its stride until the track Often pops up, which starts off this winning streak that continues all the way until Shameless. Does Shameless feel a bit basic? Well, yeah, in some regards, but the more I listened to it, the more I started to appreciate its nuances. Abel's voice sounds passionate and insistent here, plus who the hell would have seen that guitar solo coming? What a treat near the 3-minute mark of this song. Sounds like something maybe out of the 70s or 80s, and it's just fantastic. One of the best little surprises that this album has to offer. Rewind a few tracks and we're going to talk about one more song, the powerhouse single, The Hills. Ooh, what a sleazy track this is, but boy does it work. Trying to keep a relationship on the down low and hide it from your significant other? Shady shit that Abel's got going on here, but this song is really just hard to pass up and deny. What I'm taking from this song, Abel is seeing this girl, he's kind of trying to keep it hush-hush, not wanting anyone to find out about it, and of course he's in it for the sex, but the girl is starting to care about him more and more. She's concerned about his drug use and his alcohol intake and that sort of thing, and it almost feels like he's trapped, but at the same time, he is starting to develop feelings for this girl. No matter what the secret relationship in question is and the lyrical content, the album rarely fails to be, at the very least, pleasant on the ears. There's a lot of great songs on this thing. A few good ones, a few skippable ones that I would cherry pick off, but all in all, it's a rewarding enough listen that probably deserves for you to play it in full. For me personally, The Weeknd, Beauty Behind the Madness is a 3.5. So if you've heard the latest from the Canadian singer The Weeknd, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, maybe smash that like button to let me know that you enjoyed the review, and subscribe to the channel because I've got a lot on the way, and of course, friends, don't let friends go unsubscribed. You can click right here to go to my second channel, the annotation there, or there's one right over here to take you to the last review that I did right here on ARTV. All my social media links are found in the description down below, along with more information about this record. Other than that, I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.